out of the 5 books, if we're including the Christmas novella, only 1 is set outside of Greenbrier. That means you've already had at least 3 murders in this one small town. As an author, does the risk of the Cabot Cove syndrome, does it haunt you when you're trying to think of your next story? How many people can the town lose before everybody leaves?
Right, right. So I think about this a lot, actually, because if you're writing a police procedural,
Mhm.
like the Midsummer Murders, nobody actually wants to live in Midsummer because, man, the body count is really high. But you expect there to be a body count if you have a homicide squad,
Right.
right? That's their job. And so you can have these nefarious deeds, as you put it, happen over and over again. And if you look at Midsummer Murders as a whole, it's not just one town. It's a bunch
Right.
of these little tiny hamlets that are, all connected.
Yeah.
So that's one way out of it. I personally think that most mystery series really only have about 3 or 4 good books in them.
Mhm.
And I think it's very challenging to continue to write in a series beyond that. That's a personal belief on my part, and I know that there are people that are cranking out, book 35 with the same
Right.
set of characters and so forth. But
Yeah.
if you'll notice, one of the things they did with Jessica Fletcher
Mhm.
is they gave her enough money that she could travel around and have nieces and nephews in every city in the United States and in the UK as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was one of the reasons why I gave Jenny money in the first book.
Okay.
I wanted to have that option. I wanted her to be able to physically leave the area. Now, when I had originally planned this, I was like, "Oh, she'll go to the UK and she'll do this and she'll do that and whatever." And that hasn't materialized.
Right.
I'm not sure that it will, but it is part of the reason why I took her from scrabbling to make ends meet to she doesn't really have to work if she doesn't want to.
Right.
And that does, factor into it. I am also considering another series with another set of characters, but again, after 3 or 4 books, I'm going to find myself saying, if this is not their job, if this is not what they do for a living, then it becomes very difficult to explain, there are people who read in this genre and they don't care that,
Right.
57 people have lost their lives in the town with the cute bakery.
Right.
They're okay with that. And I
Right.
do think the genre allows for a certain suspension of belief, especially because, our amateur um, detective is doing all this work and the police never like, stop
Right.
that, you know?
Have you ever thought about, and there are not a lot of cozies that do that, but there are some, not having a murder and having it be something else that she has to solve?
Well, I did do that with the novella.
Yes.
And the reason why I did that was I was like, "Oh, it's Christmas. We don't want to off somebody at Christmas." And that is another way around it. I think most people read cozy mysteries for the more dramatic plot line, let's put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. I mean, that is probably true. Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that one of my all-time favorite books, my desert island book that I would take with me anywhere, is Gaudy Night by Dorothy L. Sayers, and nobody is actually murdered in that
Okay.
book. It helps if you've read, some of the other books because it's a culmination of a relationship between Harriet Vane and Lord Peter Wimsey, but the whole setup is poison pen letters and things that have happened in the past in this college community and things that are, continuing to threaten and so forth. And yet no one is actually killed heading on into this. So it can be done and it can be
Right.
done brilliantly.
Yeah.
But I also think that was kind of a one-off
Yeah.
too.
And it's been a while since I read it, but one of the people who got me into reading cozies was Nancy Atherton, who writes a series called the Antimony series,
Oh yeah.
which is, and most of the books do not have a murder. There's
Okay.
usually something else that's going on that she has to figure out, but she does it so well that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at all. But I think it's very hard to
Mhm.
pull off because the stakes aren't as
The
high.
stakes
So,
aren't as
yeah,
high. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. All right.